Children's Hospital Fund is part of that. That lives on. His children, Oj and Athena, live on. They're great kids. And Owen could make lemonade out of a lemon. They could, the Hollywood stunt writers or whoever, could put their narrow minds together and come up with the most absurd ideas, worse than they did come up with. And Owen could have portrayed those roles in a stunning fashion. There's nothing they could do that he couldn't turn it into something worthwhile or dynamic. And he had that ability to do that. Somebody else would be defeated and quit. Owen didn't need a title. He didn't need you give him a ridiculous gimmick. He'd play it to the hilt. He's like my father. He sought a lot of advice from my father, and he acted like my father. He was not easily discouraged, or when somebody played, it didn't make the most of him, he'd turn it around and he'd make the most of it. He was that good. He was just a very confident person, and we all supported Owen. He was almost like, we overlooked him at, when he was like the 12th, and, we're all doing our things, and he's just like one more kid in diapers around the house, but, he was as great as any of us, or maybe the greatest of all of us. Maybe next year it'll be a bigger and even greater tribute to him a dozen years from now, the 12th anniversary of this tragedy. And I'm sure out there's people even now thinking about maybe donating money to Owen's charity, the Children's Hospital Fund in Calgary, Alberta. That's one way they can do that. It's something that's very important, regardless of who started it.
And we'll be sure to put the link up for Owen's Foundation on the website, on the False Count Radio website and the Wrestling Soups website. Yeah. We do actually have Ron Gaff on the line. Ron, I know you have a couple of memories you'd like to share. We have a few minutes, so go ahead.
Yes, I do, actually. My very first contact with Owen actually started when I was a teen, and I'd go to the shows in Toronto every 3 weeks or so, and he was introduced the first time through Carl DeMarco, who has been the Canadian president for many years. And then when I first took him to the airport, my car was parked miles away. He says, "Where did you park, in Hamilton?" So, and that's how our friendship started. And through the years, we had many happy times, and I can recall spending time with him in Hartford with him. As far as traveling with him, went from Hartford, we went into Pittsburgh. I got a really funny story to tell you. One of my recollections from being with him is we were in traveling from Erie to from Pittsburgh to Erie, and I had Owen in the car. And this was the storyline when Owen and Brett had the feud, and so I get pulled over by a state trooper thinking that I was speeding, and there was another row of wrestlers that were ahead of us, and so the trooper pulled us over, and he looked at Owen and he said, "You betrayed your brother." So I was laughing my head off, and he was like, his face was all red. He said, "Yeah, I did." So here I am in the States being pulled over by a trooper. I've never been pulled over at all by a cop, and here I go. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay this speeding ticket? So thankfully, the trooper said, "Don't worry." First of all, he said that, "You don't mind signing an autograph for my son, do you?" He says, "Don't worry, I'm not giving you a ticket." So that's had to be one of the best road trip stories that I've had with him. There are so many that I can tell you what stuff he's done not as far as ribs with the wrestlers, but with myself.
Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us. Smith, do you have anything you want to say to Ron before we let him go?
Oh, Ron's been a great wrestling fan, a real supporter of the business and the Hart family, and we love Ron dearly. And Mankind made a lot of reference to Ron in one of his books, and it was quite amusing.
Well, thank you, Ron, for joining us. And
Thank you,
Smith, we have about a minute left. Is there anything you want to say to our listeners or to any of the people that joined us today?
Well, bless all of their hearts. I know when the event was happening, I wasn't even watching it. Some of my family were up at Diana's house. She lived just above my father at the time, and she had
90 seconds.
I got a call from one of my proteges, Jimmy Dostal, a good friend of Phil Watson, Victor Watson's son, and he says, "I think your brother really got injured badly." And I said, "Come on, Jimmy, you know, I taught you from the ground up, you know, it's what it's all about, you know." And I said, "Owen's as sure-footed as a cat. He'd be, don't worry about it." He said, "Well, I think he really got hurt. I can't tell if they shut it all off. Did you hear anything?" I said, "No." Well, my parents were just, we got a second call from Martha saying that something really serious had happened. So I felt like an idiot having dismissed it so lightly, you know, but I still couldn't, none of us could believe that it was tragic, you know, just, you know, and we didn't know if it was accidental or, you know, intentional or what, you know, but I actually, you know, couldn't see Owen of anybody, you know, misguiding any, you know, misjudging anything or hurting himself, you know, and of course it was just a simple matter. He wasn't hooked up when he fell. When he left the platform, he was not hooked up. The snap didn't break. He may have been hooked up at one time, but when he left off there, he was free falling all the way down and knew it.
Yeah.
It's on the internet.
Now, you know, before we close, I have one last quote that I found that I wanted to bring up, and it's there's a little bit of the Blue Blazer in all of us, and in fact, he is right. There is a little bit of the Blue Blazer. No, there's a little bit of Owen Hart in each of us. With that being said, fans, you've listened to this Owen Hart Tribute Radio Show, and we're going to go out this way.